Welcome to Let's Play Battlefield 1942. On today's episode, El Alamein. This is one of the most memorable maps of the game, although for the opposite reason that Stalingrad is. El Alamein has by far the most open space of any of the maps in the game and probably of any of the Battlefield series. I've been assigned to the British, and now I could have gone for a plane, but I saw that people were already taking the planes. The recording software I'm using slows down the loading up of the game a little bit, so I couldn't log into the game before everybody else. This is also a map, because there's so much open space and people get lazy and they don't want to do all the travel time. There's a lot of people who just spawn at the plane spawn and just sit by the airplanes the entire round. It doesn't look like we've got any plane campers on the radar at the moment. But anyways, as you can see, there's 3 flags in addition to the 2 uncapturable bases. There's a flag at the top and the bottom and a bit to the east, which is closer to the British base. And of course, like any of these maps, 2 out of 3 flags will inflict ticket bleed. This map is extremely popular among people who almost exclusively play airplane flying, just because there's so much open. I guess that guy didn't do a very good job there. He just bailed out for no reason. Anyways, a lot of people who just fly planes like to go on this map and practice their skills bombing tanks, because there's so much open space that they can easily spot them. And there's also only anti-aircraft batteries at the 3 flags. I've spotted an enemy tank there. You always have to check your radar just to make sure it's not one of your own on there. Alright, I got a really lucky shot there. I'm piloting a M10, that's the heavy tank for the Americans and British. There's another enemy tank there coming from their southern base, I guess. This is a Tiger, which is their heavy version. I guess I got another lucky shot there. If you aim for the treads or the rear, that takes the most damage when it gets hit. Already the British are in good shape. You can see that we're inflicting ticket bleed, and there's another bad German pilot there. I guess that's why. This map gets really, really unbalanced if all of the good pilots are on one of the teams, because those pilots can just dominate everything. This is popular among pilots. This map is also extremely unpopular among a lot of people, simply because if the pilots are really good, they can just annihilate everything. So you spawn at the main base, you get into a tank and start driving toward one of the flags, you get bombed, and then you repeat over and over again, just a lot of travel times. I would say that of the 3 flags, the most important one is the eastern flag. I'm not exactly sure why that is. It just seems like whichever team is able to hold the eastern flag the most tends to win. That German plane there is going really slow because it was taking off from the landing strip, which is just to the west of the Axis uncapturable base. Now I want to go up north where the German flag is, but to do that I'm going to have to drive across and do a little bit of a drive-by on the German main base. On this server they don't allow you to do any uncapturable base camping, but because I'm staying outside of the base and because it's just such a massive base and they're firing back at me, I feel that I'm well within my rights here to counterattack. Generally speaking, what they want to avoid when it comes to base camping is people driving a tank right onto the airstrip and just sitting there all day and just killing people as they spawn in. In the original version of this game, the hangars actually auto-repaired any vehicle that was inside of a hangar. So you could, not just planes, but any vehicle. So you could drive a tank in there and just sit in there parked, continually being repaired by the enemy hangar as you killed everyone who spawned in. But of course that got fixed pretty early on. But in spite of that, people do kind of a similar technique where they go onto repair pads, which are much smaller and they're more in the open. But they can do pretty much the same thing. This is really rough terrain. It's hard to drive over this mountainous area here, so I'm probably going to have to ditch this tank, which is running low on health anyways, as soon as I get close to the German flag there. There, that's the third-person perspective that you can drive on. Just makes it a little easier now. My empty tank icon is going to show up on the radar for the Germans, so if they're paying close attention, they're absolutely going to know that I'm coming from this direction. And that guy, yeah, you can tell he spotted that, so that's why he was heading toward me. And since spawn times are pretty low on the server, he's able to just respawn in as quickly as he wants there and gets another shot at it. For some reason he didn't respawn in a third time while I was trying to turn the flag neutral. It doesn't look like anyone else was here, so yep, we caught the flag. And the eastern flag has turned gray. Now, since that's my favorite flag to defend or attack, and since it's, I think, the most important flag on this map for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's out in the open there. I'm going to head over there as soon as I get a vehicle that spawns in here. This flag spawns a tank and a jeep, or maybe two jeeps. So I'm going to just kind of have to wait around. I used that anti-aircraft gun earlier. You always want to man those as much as possible. Otherwise the planes get free reign on this. Yeah, that guy was flying in at entirely the wrong angle. If you're attacking one of these bases and you think there's any chance of an anti-aircraft gun being manned, the only thing you can do is climb very high altitude and then attack the anti-aircraft gun going straight downward. And it looks like an enemy tank is going around. Hopefully he's going to go to the eastern one rather than over here, but I don't think he's seen me. Rats, okay, the Sherman tank spawned in there, but I wasn't able to get to it because of that enemy tank that was just prowling around. So there's not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do. Hopefully what he'll do is he'll go in and capture the flag and then leave right afterward. And then since he hasn't spotted me, he won't realize that he needs to defend the flag. Okay, he's going out, he's pulled out landmines, he's an engineer. So it looks like he's going to try to defend the flag, and we're going to do a little bit of guerrilla action over here. Alright, excellent. He got killed by the grenades. And by the time he respawns, I've captured the tank. Stay tuned for part 2.